Adam here from ARB Overland, and for the next 2 days I'm going to be hiking over a mountain and through the Australian bush. I'll be stealth camping and exploring new places along the way, as well as having plenty of mishaps and laughs. Well, I'll throw this rucksack on and we'll make a move. Let's go! So all up, this walk is 24 kilometers long, and I've decided to split it into 2 sections. Today I'll be hiking 13 kilometers up and over Mount Sugarloaf and through the Welsford State Forest, and tomorrow I'll be hiking 11 kilometers, continuing through the forest and into Bendigo, where I've arranged to be picked up. I should also mention that there are several mountains in Australia called Mount Sugarloaf, and the one that I'm on today is located in Victoria near a small country town called Axedale. And I chose this one because although I've been over it in the 4-wheel drive and on the dirt bike, I've never done it by foot. So I've just stopped to put the cover on my rucksack just to try and keep all my gear a bit more dry. It's not actually raining at the moment, but there's just loads of water dripping out of the trees. I've also got one of my trekking poles out ready to help me climb up this mountain because it's starting to get pretty steep. Probably looks a bit overkill, this pack cover, but with having the side pouches on this rucksack now, it's the only one I've got that's wide enough to actually fit it. So although this might not look like much now, this is actually the remnants of an old mine, and there's still mining taking place in this area today with the Fosterville gold mine down on the east side of the mountain. Just coming up on the summit now. It's a bit drizzly, so the view might not be up to much. But even so, there is something up here that I would like to show you. So this here is a trigonometrical station, or trig station for short. And years ago they used to build these in prominent areas like the summit of a mountain, and they were used by geodetic surveyors to measure elevation and map the country. However, with the advent of GPS, they've become obsolete in the modern world, but still interesting nonetheless. Well, as interesting as it may be, I've got a lot of distance to cover still, so it's time to leave the trig station behind and carry on with the walk. So there's a bit of a lookout up ahead, and with a bit of luck the weather will have cleared up enough and I'll be able to show you the Fosterville gold mine. It is quite the operation. I'll turn you guys around so you can have a look as well. I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but all that out through there is the gold mine. Another great big slab of rock just ahead. Looks like there's a load of quartz coming out of it as well. Gee whiz! Nearly! So this track that I'm on pretty much runs along the ridge line of the mountain, but it's quite undulating as well. So there's a lot of sections where I'm sort of going up and down. But that's good. Who doesn't like a challenge? That's it. I'm at the top. And what do you know? I've just found a tennis ball. Wilson.
Where's Wilson?
This particular section that I'm going up now, I remember it very well because myself and my dad would regularly ride the motorbikes up here. And 9 times out of 10, okay, maybe 10 times out of 10, he would go up it perfectly fine and I would crash, which is why they called me Captain Risky.
Nailed it!
So I'm just starting to come down the mountain now, and I'm going to follow what's basically a goat track down into a valley, and it looks like on the maps there might be a nice spot to stop and have some lunch and a brew there. Once I've done that, I'll hike back up out the other side of the valley and make my way into the Welsford State Forest. This is a really steep track, and where we've had a lot of rain the past couple of days, all the clay has gone really slippy. It also adds an element of difficulty because I'm trying to film as well. It was a bit hard going coming down there. So on the maps, the place that I wanted to stop at to have lunch and a brew looked like a green oasis. And now that I've got here, I can see why. Well, I think this is as good a spot as any to stop. So I'll take my pack off and I'll get this brew happening. So once again, I'm going to do an unspeakable act and have a cup of tea. Oh, that's handy. I have got something special planned for this afternoon though, for a cup of coffee. So I'm sort of saving it though till I get to where I'm going to be camping for the night. A bit of an incentive to get there quicker, I suppose. Looking around, I would say that sort of mini wetland has been man-made. It looks like originally it was a bit of a creek that ran through here, and it's been dammed up so that they could mine further down. Because looking through the trees I can see all mine shafts and mullock heaps. Well, I'm all packed up. I've left nothing behind. I'm just going to throw the rucksack on and then I'll hike up out the other side of this valley. Well, I've climbed up and out of the valley. Now we've just got to go down the other side. Once I've done that, I'll be well and truly into the Wellsford State Forest. Oh, ho. Close one. I'll turn you guys round and you can have a better look at the quality of the track. Pretty much at the bottom now, so it's starting to level out, which is appreciated. I'm well and truly off the mountain now, and I've probably got an 8 or 9 kilometre walk ahead of me before I reach the Gunya picnic area, and I'll make my camp somewhere around there tonight. I'm just coming up on St Kilda Junction now, which according to the map is a place of historical significance, although I'm not sure what the significance is. If somebody knows, please leave me a comment below. Gunya picnic area. I sure am glad to get here. I'm going to head on in anyway, find a nice spot to put my pack down, and I'm going to get myself a brew on, because it's coffee time. Usually I struggle to find a nice flat rock to put my stove on, but this time I've managed to find part of a brick. Couldn't have really asked for anything better. Black Crackle Zippo. So earlier I mentioned that I had something special in mind for my afternoon coffee, and what I have here is freshly ground coffee beans. However, the pièce de résistance is this little bit here, which is a Cedar Summit pour over coffee filter. However, I have to give credit where it's due. It was actually a mate of mine who put me onto this. It does take a little while to drip through, but boy does it smell good already. Time for the moment of truth. It's not bad. Sure is better than instant. Well, I must admit, I did enjoy that coffee, and it is quite a nice little picnic area here. But I think it's time to pack up, get off the trail, and set up camp for the night. Well, I've had a bit of a look round, and I think I'm going to set up here tonight. I'm probably about 400 meters from the picnic area, and I've sort of chosen this spot because I've got really thick vegetation all through there, and there's lots more thick vegetation out through there. So by the time I string up my tarps, I'm going to be pretty well hidden. slowly coming together. I could have done with these two trees spaced a little bit further apart, but I'll make do with what I've got. So what I've done, just to save me having to bash in loads more tent pegs, I've just pulled the loops through on my ground sheet and hooked them onto the tent pegs that I'm using on my overhead tarp. So on my last video I had a few questions about what bivvy bag I use. For anyone who's interested, it's a Corinthia Observer Plus. And what I'll do in the near future is a detailed gear review on this, as well as some of the other equipment that I regularly use. But when I'm out like this, I prefer to just focus on the adventure. Well, now that I'm all set up, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the scenery for 10 minutes, and then I might start getting some dinner cooking. So tonight for dinner, I've got Heinz Italian minestrone, and I might also pair it with a few crackers as well. Well, I'm just about to turn in for the night. I'm going to set my alarm and get up reasonably early tomorrow morning, and I'll continue the last section of this walk. So I'll turn you guys off and I'll be back with you in the morning. Well, it's not quite first light, but my alarm's gone off, which means that it's time to get up and get moving. I feel like I'm becoming quite the bush barista, if I do say so myself. It's not bad. And to go with this coffee, I've got some biscuits. The only downside to that pour over coffee filter is that it's a little bit messy, and to clean it properly takes a bit of water, and at the moment I don't really have huge amounts of water to spare. There is a dam though that I'm going to walk past today, so I might filter and fill up with some water there. I didn't get any water from the dam in the Gunya picnic area because it's full of tannins and it's almost black. And unfortunately, the filtration system I have doesn't really remove tannins. Well, as nice as this spot may be, it's time to start packing up. I forgot to mention, but there was a bit of rain last night, so all my tarps and my ground sheet are a little bit wet. Well, that's everything packed up now. I'll throw my rucksack on, I'll hike out the forest, and I'll get back on the trail. And I'm back on the trail. Well, I've just come out of the Wellsford State Forest and into the Bendigo Regional Park, and I'm just coming up on Mahers Dam now, or Mahers Dam. I'm not really sure how you pronounce it, to be honest, but I'm going to find a good spot here, put my pack down, have some lunch and a nice brew. I think I'll set up here and have some lunch. It's not a bad little spot, and I'm out of the wind. So far on this trip I've used a little over 2.5 litres of water, and I've got 1.5 litres left. So I've got more than enough to see me through today. So to speed things up, I'm going to try something a little bit different this time. Instead of pouring all the hot water through the filter, I'm just going to do 2 filters worth and then pour the rest straight into the cup. And to my way of thinking, that'll be a little bit more like making a long black on an espresso machine. It might not taste as good though, but I'll try it and find out. Now for the moment of truth. I know it doesn't taste any different, to be honest. I think I might do that more often. Certainly a lot quicker, and because I haven't had to take so long letting all the water go through the filter, my coffee's a lot hotter as well. Of course, I don't think this coffee would be complete without a little bit of homemade Kendal mint cake. Well, I'm all packed up, I've left nothing behind. Let's carry on and finish the last leg of this walk. It's starting to look a lot less like the bush and more like civilization now. All that in behind me is a big subdivision that's going in. So I've probably only got another 2 kilometers to go now, and then that'll be the end of the trip. Big food processing plant over there. It's absolutely covered in pigeons. They've seen me and all got up and flown away. And this here is the rifle range picnic area, which marks the end of my trip. And if you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and join the adventure at ARB Overland. It only works if you press record. Don't worry, I'm coming back. And it amazes me that somebody's graffitied on it. Gee whiz! Nearly! Of all the things I could find in the bush, I've just found the veins off of a dart. Wilson.
Where's Wilson?
And I would crash. Which is why they called me Captain Risky.
Nailed it!
2% battery. Oh, living dangerously. Oh, that's very considerate. They've put the chairs out for me. Why bother bringing a chair when you can use those that are provided? I'm going to do an unspeakable act and have a cup of tea. Oh, that's handy. Oh, oh. Close one. Suppose I better not walk off too far. I'm just coming up on St Kilda's Junction now, except it's St Kilda's Crossing. Ah! That's no good. I wonder how many kilometers doing this adds to the trip. I bet it's a few. I feel like I'm becoming quite the bush barista, if I do say so myself. Oh man, I think it's coffee time.